PBC is returning to his seat, and we just want to encourage everyone on the outside to make your way back in. We have another engaging and informative session for you. Well, we have two actually. Social media. We have especially a lot of young people who are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So we want you to understand the whole dynamics of social media. It can be fun. It can be something used for good, but there are also predators on those social media platforms looking to lure our young people into this kind of activity. And so we want to arm you with the information that you need to protect yourselves. And so I am going to welcome to the stage right now to moderate this segment, Amanda Fraser. Can you put your hands together for her as she comes?
Thank you, Basilia. Good afternoon, everyone. His Excellency, custodies, distinguished guests, teachers, students, good afternoon, everybody. All right, it's a pleasure for me to be here and moderate this session. We're going to be going online with Dr. Romulus Ungernu. Fancy. He's joining us live from Romania, and he is currently the International Law Enforcement Advisor for the United Nations Office of Drug and Crime, right? He is a specialist in anti-trafficking, organized crime, and he has a wide array of information that he's going to be telling us on social media and how we can use that as a forum to prevent anti-trafficking, right? So please join me as we welcome him on screen. Are you seeing him? Because he's not here as yet. He's here? All right, welcome Dr. Romulus Ungernu. Just bear with us while we're experiencing some technical difficulties. Like I said, he's joining us on Zoom from Romania. So we're just trying to get him on screen so that you can actually hear what he's saying. In the meantime, who can tell me one benefit to using social media in anti-trafficking? You. Yeah. We have a mic in the audience.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Tajman Miller. One benefit of using social media in anti-trafficking is getting the word out to everybody, spreading it across the world, and having our youth knowing about this.
Excellent. What school are you from?
I'm from Jamaica College.
Awesome. Perfect example. Can somebody else give me another one?
Don't hear anything, actually.
All right. It sounds like we have him on screen. Dr. Romulus, are you hearing me? Dr. Romulus, are you hearing us?
It looks like hearing me or not?
All right, in the meantime, who else can tell me another benefit of social media? A school from Manchester. I'm from Manchester. Bel Air, the Carteret. Where are you guys at? All right, Manchester. Make some noise, huh? Woo! All right, somebody from Manchester, tell me a benefit of using social media.
Test.
Hello. Good afternoon. I am
Good afternoon.
Orina Brown from the Philippa Baptist Skills Training Center. One benefit of using social media to inform about human trafficking is one benefit is to inform people who are seeking or who are sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
That's okay. Take your time.
All right, so one benefit is there are a lot of people who are seeking information, and sometimes people feel like they're alone or going through the struggle.
Amen.
And one benefit of it is knowing people that you're not alone, and it's an issue that many of us are facing as Jamaicans and as people of the world. So that is one benefit of using social media to inform us Jamaicans and the world about human trafficking. Thank you.
Excellent. How many of you knew about human trafficking before you came here today? That's excellent. A lot of you were knowledgeable about it before you came, right? How many of you have learned something new today? Excellent. That's what we like to hear. And all of you are going to go and spread the word about human trafficking in your schools, right? Right? Yes. All right.
All right, so good afternoon, everyone. So we know it's a little bit after lunch, we're trying to sort out these technical difficulties. I'm just going to ask you guys to do one quick activity for me because I think we need to lively up the room. So, asking everybody to just stand.
Let's go.
Yes, man, I know no sleep. We know what they call it after lunch, after the belly full. All right, so we're going to stretch up. Nice. Stretch out all of that food, all the sleep. And down. Who can go down, go down. Hello, on the young, All of them white coats over there, you guys are young, so come, we're going to stretch up again. Good. And down. All right, so I think we're a little more, okay, whatever. So, all right, everybody can sit. All right, so the topic for today is social media networking or recruitment, right? So we stated some benefits of social media earlier, but I just want to bring up some examples. So how many persons have ever been on social media, probably Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you see some little, mass job recruitment offers going out? Anybody? Right, so a lot of times persons actually utilize social media platforms to, lure persons into their different schemes for whatever purpose. A lot of times, and what I heard someone say earlier is that sometimes when it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. So I remember when I was in about 11th grade, there was a message circulating on Facebook about a cruise ship offer. So, you're in 11th grade, kind of excited, probably not ready to leave school as yet, but you want a little summer work experience and so forth. So they were offering some sort of recruitment to say, okay, you get to work for 3 months, you get X amount of pay, you get to travel all over the whatever part of the world that you sign up through the cruise ship company with. And of course, so we're excited and so forth. I didn't sign up personally because I was like, okay, probably I don't want to do this yet. I want to finish school and so forth. But you had 2 girls in my class that signed up. And this is my extra class. So we had 2 girls in the extra class that signed up. So while they were messaging them on Instagram, on Facebook, they were saying, okay, you need to send this kind of information. You have to send over this amount of money, and then you have to meet. So this is where it gets fishy now. You have to meet them somewhere else, unattended, by yourself. So you want to go in 11th grade. Remember, you're underage still. You have to meet them at a place. You have to carry whatever kind of documents and whatever, and you're going to be taken to some location that they can't disclose until you meet them to go. So first of all of that just sounds like a big scheme there. So this is just to tell you that a lot of times some offers are going around on social media. Don't be too quick to offer. We have work and travel, which is, I think, popular mostly among university students. That's a legitimate thing when you go through a company. But but sometimes you'll actually see persons offer some farm programs or some other experience for you to go and get work experience, not necessarily going through an agency, and you end up getting into some problems, right? So a lot of times, social media, yes, it's for good, but a lot of unscrupulous persons are out there that target vulnerable persons who are looking for opportunities, looking for experience. Young people like us, I'm fresh out of university. A lot of my colleagues are still looking for jobs, and sometimes they kind of just take what they get. You have to be careful because it can happen to anyone. Yes, child trafficking is a thing, but no matter what age you are, you can still end up in something that can lure you into problems.
Definitely. I 100% agree with what Ms. Clark is saying. I work as a clinical psychologist, and we see victims coming into the clinics, right? This is a real thing. It's not something that you just seen on TV. It's actually something that's actively happening in Jamaica. It might not happen to you or someone who you know, but it's really happening. People are recruiting our youth into various different things, not just sex trafficking, but there's other things that they're recruited for. Human labor is one as well. So it's something that's very, very common. A lot more common than we would like our youth to believe, because we like to keep you safeguarded and we like to ensure that you feel protected as youth. But it's something that is good to be extremely knowledgeable about, all right? Just to give a quick example, we had a young girl who came in the clinic who was actually a victim of human trafficking. And I said that to say that there are resources that are available to you, right? If you are not sure about what somebody is sending you, about where someone is sending you, about an offer that somebody is sending you, you can contact the agencies. As we said, we have the National Task Force Against Trafficking Persons, but we also have clinics. We have health centers all over the island. There's people who you can come in and talk to if you're a victim. If you know somebody who has been a victim, there are resources, right? And if you need resources, you can speak to anyone on our team, any of the, I believe, ambassadors, and we'd be happy to help you out as well.
All right. Any updates on the technical difficulties? Oh, it's good? Good to go? No? Okay.
Thank you so very much, ladies. All right, we were trying to sort out the technical difficulties. Until we do so, we're going to move into our next presentation. And this presentation is all about integrity. Now, there's a saying that goes, integrity is doing what is right when no one is looking. Integrity is doing what is right when no one is looking. And I'm going to invite to the podium right now Miss Jamie Ann Chavans. She is coming to represent Professor Trevor Monroe, Director of the National Integrity Action. And she's coming to give us some more information on integrity and why integrity is important. And whose integrity should you believe? Put your hands together for her as she comes.
Their Excellencies, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Governor General, and the Most Honorable Lady Allen, Host Custos, the Honorable Conrad Pitkin, and all custodies and spouses. Ladies and gentlemen, teachers and students, young people, mature young people, boys and girls, Good afternoon. As was stated before, my name is Jamie Ann Shavans, and I'm the Youth Outreach Officer at the National Integrity Action, and have served in that position for the last 4 years. Allow me also to apologize for the unavoidable absence of our Executive Director, Professor Trevor Monroe, who has been a long-time annual participant in the Youth Consultative conferences, but who is unavoidably absent this year. He and I, and all of NIA's board, staff, and volunteers wish to say how honored we are to be once again a sponsor in this yet another important IBI YCC initiative of the Governor General's Program for Excellence. The more so, we are pleased at the relevance of the topic which we have been exploring at this year's conference. Stop human trafficking. Human trafficking, as you would have heard from Deputy Superintendent Cardberry, is a global problem. The International Labour Organization estimates that there are 40.3 million victims of human trafficking globally. 81% of them are trapped in forced labor. 25% of them are children. That is, youth under 18. 75% are women and girls. The International Labour Organization estimates that forced labor and human trafficking is a $150 billion industry worldwide. In the US alone, 49,000 cases of human trafficking have been reported through national human trafficking hotlines in the last 10 years. In combating this global scourge, at the end of 2018, over 170 countries, including Jamaica, have ratified the Trafficking Protocol of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. In Jamaica, while there are no absolutely reliable figures, hundreds of young people under the age of 18 have been trafficked over recent years. In 1 year, 2015, the last for which I have seen data from the Office of the Child's Registry, 88 children were reportedly trafficked. As we heard in earlier discussions, trafficking of children more often than not largely derives from being deceived or tricked into believing that the life you are going into is one of more money, less poverty, one in which you will remain free to earn your way out of hardship. No such thing. As you heard from Shamar in her survival story. No doubt, Jamaican young people are particularly vulnerable. The most recent figures tell us that 1 in 4 live in poverty and many suffer abuse of one type or another at home. Hence, without knowing it, many are tempted to jump from the frying pan into the fire of human trafficking. To reduce and even prevent this, our experience in NIA tells us that awareness building amongst the youth regarding the intrinsic wrong and harmful effect of human trafficking can build resistance and strengthen the youth in doing the right thing, that is, in behaving with integrity. Surprisingly, to many, our young people know what is right in very many instances and find what is wrong unacceptable. In that regard, I want to share with you some findings of a report commissioned by the Office of the Contractor General and carried by the Department of Government at UWI entitled Youth and Corruption in Jamaica. The survey was published in 2017, covered all parishes, and got responses from young people, males and females, between the ages of 10 and 19, enrolled primarily in high schools. Listen to some of the scenarios posed to the young people to capture their attitude to integrity. A person does something which might be illegal, in order to make his or her family live better. Is this an acceptable behavior? 80.7%, not acceptable. The parent of a student gives a teacher money or a gift so that their child can get better grades. 92.5%, not acceptable. An unemployed person who steals electricity, 84.9%, not acceptable. Our youth, therefore, have a positive attitude to integrity. The majority, according to the survey, would be willing to make a report about corrupt activities. Of the minority who would not see it as their duty to report, the main reason is that they feel they would not be protected or that nothing would be done. Looking at Jamaica's population as a whole, as a result of awareness building by NIA and other organizations, through town halls, television advertisements, social media posts, etc., the percentage of Jamaicans willing to tolerate or participate in bribery have dropped significantly over the last 10 years. This positive attitude to integrity provides fertile soil to plant more seeds of awareness building regarding the wrong of human trafficking. Some outreach and public awareness activities are being carried out by the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons through television, radio, internet, and print media. However, there needs to be far more extensive outreach to teachers, students, government officials, unattached youth, and community members. We in NIA have been engaged in some of this activity, but are willing to enter partnerships to strengthen this work through our integrity clubs in schools, or integrity action movement at the universities, and in our partnership with the National Youth Council of Jamaica and the Ministry of Education, Youth, and Information. We fully support the call made earlier this year by the National Task Force for 10,000 volunteers to aid in the fight against human trafficking. However, preventative education and awareness building is not enough. There needs to be effective prosecution and punishment of those involved in this crime. For example, it is good, but far from adequate, that only 6 persons were prosecuted for trafficking in 2018 and only 1 conviction secured. Additionally, it is good, but not enough, that the court sentenced a sex trafficker convicted during 2017 to 4 years and 5 months imprisonment in July 2018. Additionally, more effort needs to be made to protect victims. Of course, more effective prevention, prosecution, and protection requires more funding beyond the 35 to 40 million Jamaican dollars spent annually on anti-trafficking activities. We in NIA believe that a more determined, coordinated, and concerted effort by government to cut wastage of public funds due to corruption and breaches of our procurement laws, estimated at 7% of GDP, or 95.6 billion Jamaican dollars per year, would release resources for more effective combat of human trafficking. So, let me conclude by expressing our pleasure at participating in this conference, our commitment to continued partnership to strengthen integrity, and our confidence that this conference will help to empower youths and families in the national effort to stop human trafficking. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Chavans. Can you put your hands together for her one more time? Representing Director of the National Integrity Action, Professor Trevor Monroe. And I'm going to ask an I Believe ambassador to come and do a presentation to her. Just a token of our appreciation this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jamion Chavans of the NIA. And so we have to readjust our programming for the day, but we know that's how life is, right? When life happens, we just fall into place. So, right, let me invite back Dr. Dunn, Ms. Mackenzie, and ASP Berry. We're going to be going into a moment of discussion, just bringing home what we have been going through since morning. But I know that many of you had questions, more questions, as you wanted to hear a little more from Ms. Mackenzie regarding her story, right? So we're going to go into that. But let me just say good afternoon, everybody. It really is a pleasure to be here. I was here last year and we had a great time, lots of learnings, and the same continues this year. Such an awesome program that we have going on, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. I think I will just stand right here and ask some questions. So, what we're going to be doing, I'm going to ask just to give a little overview before we want to kind of close on you, Shamir, with you, Shamir. Yes. But just a little overview, Dr. Dunn, of the sense of accomplishment that we've had with the discussions this morning and where we can take it. What are your thoughts?
Okay. God is good.
All the time.
So we got some more time to talk about action. And I'm speaking particularly to all the students who are here today. Guess what? There's a lot of research that you can do on your school, in your community, in your church, on this issue of human trafficking. We can give you the tools, but your eyes and ears can help us to understand the scope and prevalence and scale of this problem. Yes? The tip clubs got a lot of ammunition today. If your school doesn't already have one, we'd encourage you to do what is necessary to set up one. Of course, I would also invite everyone to do a degree in gender and development. At the University of the West Indies, we offer the only bachelor's degree in gender and development studies. And for those of you who are already in the field, we have masters and PhDs. And there are lots of issues relating to human trafficking which we need to address. So to me, this morning was a godsend. I was saying to His Excellency that his endorsement of human trafficking will make Mrs. Palmer very happy and the National Task Force, because it has put human trafficking on the agenda in a different way and targeting young people who are most vulnerable. So that's my comment today. And I see my friend Mr. Hardley Perrin in the front. The faith-based organizations need a lot of help. And part of Margaret Fowler's legacy is to take the baton, take it to the congregations, the Mothers Union, the men's groups, the youth groups, as well as Sunday school and the sermons to integrate trafficking, because within the Bible, there are several stories of human trafficking. So we can make it relevant and use those spaces every single week to build awareness around human trafficking.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dunn. DSP Berry, your thoughts?
One of the single most important ways to fight human trafficking is to educate the populace. Through the medium currently being used, and with His Excellency spearheading the campaign, we're sure to get this message across. No doubt we have in excess of 1,200 children in the room plus adults. The reality is that if you were to do just the multiplier scenario, at least 5 other persons will be impacted. I'm suggesting even more, which means that just today alone, we would have at least reached a wider cross-section of our populace. The mantra and the mandate for the government and as well the National Task Force on Trafficking in Person is to ensure that every citizen gets this message. It is an important message, it's timely. Not only will it increase reporting to us, which we are prepared for, but what will it do? It will ensure that the citizens can protect themselves. And it's a clandestine crime. It's operating, we know, on the internet. It's operating in every space. There's no country that has been immune. And as a result, we are really grateful for this opportunity. And from the bowels of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, I must say it's a great day. May I thank you?
Sure. Now, there's a question that has been looming on my mind, and it is this. The Bible talks about the love of money is the root of all evil, and I dare say power added to that. Now, I'm asking this question. I'm not even sure if you're in a position to answer, but if not, that's fine. Who stands to benefit financially from human trafficking?
You'll be surprised who. The first beneficiary is the trafficker. But the trafficker has family members. So even persons who are deemed innocent are still benefiting. And that's one of the reasons we are pursuing via the Proceeds of Crime Act, where we are now doing asset stripping. So those who amass wealth through illicit means, which human trafficking is, should lose it by law. And as a result, we are pursuing all those who benefit directly and those indirectly as well. So for example, if a father does human trafficking and use the money to send a child to school, we're suggesting that both would have been ripe for the Proceeds of Crime Act. And if they make assets down the road, it would be illicitly obtained and it should be taken off. That's the law.
All right. Before I give you a chance to answer, thank you for that. But I also want, because sometimes when we think about trafficking, we're thinking in terms of a single person or, 2 persons coming together to commit this heinous act. No, in terms of an organized ring where that is concerned, where are the various, the ecosystem of that activity?
Well, what we have found, and I know the other panelists will jump in, is that even companies have as their side business human trafficking, and that has been picked up across the world. Several companies have been pointed out. CNN did a freedom project for 2 years, and what they did was named and shamed several organizations. And you'd be surprised who was involved in human trafficking. So that's one thing we must tell people, that the traffickers can be anybody, and it can be any organization. None has been immune, and it's something that we need to internalize to make sure that we're pointing the fingers at the appropriate people and ensure that they get prosecuted properly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the things we have to do better as a country and as a people is to connect the dots. So one of the challenges that we like to work in silos. And if we were able to connect the dots, we would find a lot more convictions, a lot more awareness, but also intervention. So sometimes agencies are very committed, but we're tripping over each other, We need to avoid duplication of effort. We need to be able to share information more readily so we don't redo what has already been done, right? So if we can do that, more people will be aware of what's happening, what's available. I brought the resources deliberately to show you. This is just a few examples of what is available in terms of education. There are tons of videos, and other materials that are there. There's a play, Where is Melissa? Which Reverend Dr. Fowler had, helped to commission and everything. So I'm saying that if we can talk to each other, we can overcome those silos. I know that there's a national action plan against trafficking in persons. There's a national action plan on child labor, which has just been done. And if we can work more across agencies, we will help to solve this problem.
All right, delegates, I don't want to lose you. We're coming to you in just a few moments with your questions, but I have a follow-up question to that. Let Shamir is going to speak. A follow-up question to that when you talk about, agencies toppling over each other, etc. And I know that we have a culture of being very bureaucratic, right? To what extent does our bureaucracy hinders the progress of fighting this monster?
Yeah, I know that there have to be checks and balances, but we need to find a way of making information more readily accessible, yeah? And sharing information. One of the things that we did in 2016 was to support the development of a database on human trafficking, asking institutions also to sign an MOU to share information that would enable us to have a better understanding of the scope of the problem and to be able to improve the convictions and so on. That is almost completed, but if we can accelerate that and overcome the bureaucratic barriers that would prevent us from signing and saying, yes, I'm willing to share, we'll be on our way.
Awesome.
More rapidly.
And Shamir, my question is directly aimed at you, as both from the perspective of a victim and a victor, what can you share with us in a nutshell from what we've been talking about earlier this morning, what you've experienced, and the very far away that we have to go? What are your thoughts? Yeah, encapsulate that in, I know I've asked a lot, but yeah.
Well, oftentimes when I give a presentation, I start out by asking the audience, what is one thing that you value? Right? And oftentimes people say family, education, my career. And when I ask that question, in talking about this subject matter, I'm normally looking for a particular answer. Can anyone guess the answer that I'm looking for?
Self. Freedom.
So I heard a couple people say it.
Freedom.
It's not freedom. It's life, right? Because when we look at human trafficking and we look at the society in the aggregate, right, I find that we no longer place value on life. When we talk about human trafficking, people, human beings are at the center of this issue, right? And I live in America, and in America, I know that they place more value on animals than they do human beings. And I can reserve the right to say that in Jamaica, we don't, right? In Jamaica, we place value on life, right? And if, as a people, as individuals, we open our eyes and pay attention to our neighbors, right? To people in our families, and stop saying, this is not my problem, so I'm not going to deal with it, right? If we become more inquisitive about the right things, because we do have some inquisitive people, but sometimes those inquisitive minds are focused on the wrong things. Let's talk about real issues. Let's talk about real conversations. Let's be inquisitive about the right things. What's happening? Report it. Stand up for what is right. Because oftentimes, as someone who's been victimized, I didn't feel like anyone cared what happened. When I was on the streets, there were people that I would walk past that would turn their noses up at me. There are people who were in position of power, like law enforcement, celebrities that purchased me, right? Not stopping to think, hey, this act that I'm engaging in, it's wrong. And so I want to challenge everyone in this room today on becoming or being better human beings. That's, I feel like it's our first commission as a human being, is to look out for each other. Stand up for what is right. Take action. Seek justice. And I can be here today and I can talk about my experience, but it took a while. It took 6 therapists to get through to me. And I'm not going to repeat the words today, what I said to the very first therapist, but I used some very colorful language when they asked, Ms. McKenzie, what do you want to talk about today? And my language was very colorful, and the therapist shut down because they weren't trauma informed. not understanding that my trauma was manifesting through my mouth. And when we meet victims, we want to hear the story. We want to hear about the deep, ugly things, but we don't know you like that, right? I'm going to give you an example. And I know we have children in the room, but we need to be able to have these type of conversations with children as well. I want you to turn to the person beside you and talk about, if it has happened, your first sexual encounter. Okay, there's a lot of conversation happening, but I'm sure you're not talking about the question that I asked, right? I hear chatter, but I'm sure that's not what you're talking about, right? Some of you may be sitting beside your coworkers, your peers, your classmates, and you're not comfortable sharing that information because that's personal, right? So when we meet victims who we don't necessarily know, and the first question is, so tell me about what happened to you. I don't know you like that to be sharing my deepest, darkest secrets with you. A great question would be, I understand you have been victimized. How can I support you? How can I help you get to that next level? Because the victimization has been done, right? We don't need to know the ugliness and the darkness of what happened to the person. What we need to know is how we can help that person overcome their experiences, pick up the broken pieces, and carry on in this race called life.
Amazing. And so with that, we are going to segue into getting some questions from our delegates. But of course, already Shamir has set the stage, set the tone for the line of questioning that we need to go, right? We need to go at. So bear that in mind as you ask the questions that you want to ask. All right, so where are my mic holders? In the middle? Right there? Oh, there she is. Go right ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I have actually two questions for Mr. Carlberry. Sir, you explained some strategies that probably those who are in charge of overseeing specific areas of the human trafficking or whatever. And I am very interested to know some of the strategies that you have in place, and I want to know if you have any strategies put in place for the other social issues that are currently happening in our country.
All right, let me start with the latter first. Child diversion is coming, where the intervention will be for children, especially those who with remorse would have apologized for wrongs done. So that's one intervention to rid the criminal justice system of youths, and that will redound to benefits all around, because you wouldn't go into the world of work, for example, with a criminal record. However, as it relates to human trafficking, which we have more handle on, because it's my unit, the reality is that we have launched several interventions. One such was reported to you, where schools at the high school level have all joined up to ensure that they have clubs where discussions can go around and people get as much to protect themselves against human trafficking. Other interventions include, you see the comic books, where we want the youngest among us to understand the complexities of human trafficking. We are engaging, and we continue to engage the youths, because we know you are most vulnerable. And that's why this platform is one such that we joined their excellencies to ensure that you benefit from what we have on offer. We are prepared to meet you or others at the side door. You know, we have a booth where we can also spread enough information and also engage you to learn from you, because we know that over time we have been prescribing information for youths. It's time sometimes for us to sit back and listen. The solution may very much be with you.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Jordan Drummond from Jamaica College. And Mr. Berry, I have two questions for you. What year was Jamaica declared a Tier 2 upper rank country? And before do you think the appropriate steps were taken to stop us from becoming a tier 2?
All right, so we have been toggling with tier 2 from as long as we can remember. However, the last 3 years we have retained ranking. So whereas we had slipped in about 2014, 2015, we went back up and we have retained that tier 2 upper deck ranking so far. What have we done? If you were to ask me in a private conversation, I definitely, if we were marking the paper, would see Jamaica at tier 1, no doubt. Because when we do the comparative analysis with other countries, we realize that the efforts that we put in to fight human trafficking is superior to many. We continue to fight though. The good thing is that the watchers are out there and we are judged by our peers as well as international partners. And people know that we are doing work. However, and in finality, just to tell you that we're not resting to believe that we have had it done. Instead, much more work needs to be done, and we are re-engaging and engaging the citizenry to ensure that the information flow becomes of such that we can help fix the problem locally at least.
And my second
All right,
question.
I'm sorry, I'm limiting each person to just one question, and please wait to be identified before you start your question. Thank you. Yes, but go ahead and finish that one. I should have said that before, so go right ahead and finish that one.
What is the most common way of trafficking in Jamaica? And if you could tell us the steps of which you place so would prevent that from happening.
May I just ask you to repeat it, please?
The most common way of trafficking in Jamaica, because you told us it's 16, and then what has been placed to stop that from happening?
Absolutely. We have flagged 3 areas. Forced begging came up. It's really not a trend. We had one person convicted in November last year for forced begging. We have domestic servitude. We also have forced labor. And the big grandmother of them all would have been sex trafficking. Child trafficking is there too, so we are mapping about 4 of the trends that I showed you. We don't want to have another trend, so we are working towards getting rid of the forced begging one, because that's one that we can manage to get rid of. And we are working with the adults and children to see if we can stymie the sex trade. And that's why we have so far dismantled 3 prostitution rings that were operating, 1 in this parish and 2 external to this parish. We continue to work because it's our job to do.
Hello, good day. I am Tiana Robinson from the St. Jago High School. And before I continue, I'd like to say thank you for giving me. I am a peer counselor, first and foremost. And I have seen cases or situations where persons have been sexually molested. And I'm not saying that it is because of human trafficking. However, thanks for the question that you gave, how I can start the conversation, how can I support you? But my question really is, if I'm going to ask, how can I support you? And then the conversation might stop because the person might say, I'm okay, or how did I know, or I don't want to talk about it. And then I will be boxed in a corner because now I wouldn't know how to pursue the conversation further. So how do you recommend that I continue a conversation like this?
Well, what I recommend from the police standpoint is that the less means more. The fact that you run the risk of re-traumatizing the victim, then we ask you not to engage too deeply. You see signs, there are red flags in your eyes, have the matter reported to us. There are entities as well. We have OCA in the house. We have the UNRWA. We have several entities with the mandate. CPFSA is also one such. We have Sisoka, which is embedded in each parish. So let us do the heavy lifting for you. We have been specifically trained in how to interact with people who have suffered trauma and at different levels, and we have been trained how not to re-traumatize as well. So in helping us, please get us in at the earliest point, and we will assist you.
Good afternoon.
Okay,
My name is Rashidi Castello from Jamaica.
Hold on. Remember, I just asked that we ask to be, we wait to be notified. And the truth is, unfortunately, we're out of time. We only have time for wrapping. I'm very sorry. I hate to do this because I see the eagerness and we want to facilitate everyone, but it's not possible. All right? So with time, I mean, we are blessed because, what was a negative worked for positive for us. So we were able to fill this slot from Dr. Romulus, who weren't able to join us because of the technical difficulties. So at least we got some more time in, and we're grateful. Now I'm going to ask our panelists just to give a 30-second wrap, and then I'll just close out and let it be.
Just to say, continue to be informed. A lot of information is there. Please use it.
It takes a collaborative effort to effectively eradicate trafficking. This is not a political issue. This is not a law enforcement issue. This is our problem. This is our Jamaica. Let's get together and fix it.
I hope I can ask you to save 2 claps for me, but the reality is that navigating social media and the internet, the 21st century, is really not as forgiving as my time. We ask people to smartly use social media. Be internet smart. Be cyberspace. What you would do if you are is to reduce your vulnerability by about 80% just by being smart. Educate yourself and get education, then your vulnerability will be really 0. So all we're asking is use the spaces wisely, learn as much, and we are here to help you when that fails.
Thank you so much. And I just want to close right here by saying that earlier when we came, we heard some very startling data and statistics and, things that could make us feel that all is lost. Like, for example, Jamaica is a transit point for trafficking to happen. It's the country of origin for trafficking, as well as it has 3 parts of the trafficking chain. So that could daunt us, right? But we also heard transit. It's no longer right? So that could daunt us. But the fact that we hear all these success stories of what is happening and where Jamaica is headed, it means that we have hope. We're not a people without hope. And so we will continue to be vigilant. We will continue to be our brothers and sisters' keeper. We will not turn a blind eye. We will not succumb to the inform of a dead culture. But when we see something that is not right, we'll talk about it. Even if we don't want to necessarily approach someone, but we can go to the authorities because we all have a part to play. It's not just for the authorities. It's all of us business. Trafficking is all of us business, and stopping it, it augurs well for our country, for our economy. So let's do what is right. Let's play our part. Have a great evening. Oh, let me invite Mrs. Barnaby Cuff to come and close us off.
Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together one more time for our panelists for tying things together for us. So this signals the end of our presentations for today. Put your hands together for all our presenters. And we're going over to Malik. Is that Malik?
No, sorry. This is Nicoy Brown.
Okay.
I want to make a proposal. I realize that a lot of students want to say something. So I am proposing to Miss Sims or the planning committee to do a webinar or something, because everybody are on social media, right? And we want to hear the voices of our youth. So, I'm a bit disappointed that you don't get to say anything, but we'll make it up, right? Right? All right, so I am proposing a webinar or something like that, and we can share it on our page or get it out to the different schools so we can hear the voices of our youth, because It's a real issue, and we want to deal with it, right? And we want to hear the voices of our youth. Put your hands together for yourselves. You guys have done well, and that's...
All right, thank you so very much. All right, so we have some different kind of presentations to do right now. We're giving away gifts and surprises and prizes for persons who have worked hard over the past few weeks. So at the commencement of the GGPE calendar year, when we made the call for candidates for the GGAA as part of the qualification criteria, we normally have an essay competition to be answered by the candidates in the under 35 age group. Now, one of those questions was on the theme human trafficking, with the incentive of the best essay being awarded at this conference. So there was a total of 10 essays submitted to the Office of the GG, and they were sent to the team of adjudicators at the NATFATIP to mark the essays. The 3 candidates who were found worthy of recognition of outstanding essays are as follows. So in 3rd place, we have Zawardi H. Thelwell. Put your hands together for Zawardi. Zawardi is not here today, but their prizes will be sent to them, so they'll collect it at a later date. But we have our 2nd place and our 1st place winners in the house today. And so, coming in at 2nd place, we have Michaela Miles, upper 6th form student at the Morant Bay High School, and the 18 to 25 age group winner for the 2019 GGAA. So I'm going to invite Michaela Miles to come to the platform right now. Michaela, come and collect your prizes. I'm going to invite DSP Berry to come back to the platform to present a gift basket to Michaela. So this is Michaela, everyone. Put your hands together for her, or 2nd place winner. She is receiving a gift basket courtesy. Yes. We're photographers. We need to get some pictures. All right, so we're having a quick photo to be taken here. Yes, we have to capture this moment, you know. All right, here we go. Thank you so much. I'm also going, thank you so very much, DSP Berry. Don't move, Michaela. We have enough things for you, DSP Berry. Thank you so much. All right, Michaela, you can just put that on the chair right there, because we have a lot of things for you, Michaela, because you worked hard and you did well. All right? So I'm going to invite the Honorable Marcia Bennett Custis of St. Thomas to come to present a cash prize courtesy of the GGPE. Woo! She has done St. Thomas proud. Put your hands together for Michaela. Michaela, we still have something else for you, okay? So just put that right there, so. Yes, we're sending you home loaded today. Inviting Custis Pitkin to come to present Dolphin Cove vouchers. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Another round of applause for Michaela Miles, our second place winner in our essay competition. No man, Put your hands together for her, man.
Thank you.
She deserves it. And coming in at first place, we have Marisha Williams, the 18 to 25 age group winner for the 2019 GGAA for the parish of Trelawney. And I'm going to invite Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, the Honorable Carol Palmer. Come again? Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology. She's coming to present. Okay. And this is the winning trophy. Put your hands together. Custos Picking, I'm going to invite you again one more time, sir. They need to give you a prize after this, don't you think? He's going to present the vouchers for Dolphin Cove as well. And then standing by, the Honorable Custos Paul Machette, Custos of Trelawney, is coming to present, yes, a gift basket. Put your hands together for our first place winner, everybody. Another round of applause for Marisha Williams from the parish of Trelawney. Congratulations to you. And we have a gate prize to give away right now. Can you guess what that gate prize is? It's a day pass for two at Sandals Montego Bay. Wanna make some noise, please, for Sandals Montego Bay? Come to the stage. So we're going to have D.I. Rasai Freckleton to choose our winner. And I think these names came from the registration. Yes, from the registration table. So if you want to go to Sandals, your name got a pick. Anybody want to go to Sandals and just relax, yeah? Feel a nice breeze, eat a nice food. A day pass for two. I can just feel the sea breeze already. Well, not me, but for you.
It is blue. I had red.
All of them? Oh, okay. All right, so the gate prize winner's number, so you have to look on your ticket. If you have a red ticket, or green, is blue, yeah? So don't bother take it out. It's blue. It's a blue ticket. And DI will do us the honors of reading the number.
So, thank you, Basilia. So the number is, and the numbers are 658811. I hear 15 different people make noise and only one somebody can win. 658811. If you are the lucky person, run, come up here.
Or else we will choose another number.
Going once, we have to do it one more time.
Going
Look
once.
at your ticket. 658811. 8811.
Going once.
Going once. Going twice.
All right.
And I go in again. Lord, let it be red.
So it is red. So if you have a blue ticket, just put it away. All right.
All right. This time the numbers are 20.
Hold on. There are 4 more numbers to come after that, honey. I know the sea breeze licked you a while ago, but we have 4 more numbers to come after that. All right.
And the $20,000 cash. So it's 205130. I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand. 205130.
None of them?
205130.
Going once.
No,
going
I have
twice.
to give you an opportunity to look. Gone.
Gone.
I have to get permission from Your Excellency to move on. May I? Oh, good. In I go again. It will be only fair for a green one this time, right? I believe that God is good to somebody today. Red again. This time the number is 205234. 20523. Put your hands together for that young man. Make your way to the front. Definitely. We have to first. Oh Lord, he's from Clarendon, Fogar Road High School. 2052. Make some noise. Put your hands together. We have found a winner. Someone wants to take your picture, young man? Awesome. Okay, so you have 2 prizes. You need to make your way on the stage for me, young man.
Costa Spitkin are working you today, sir. You're my best friend today. I'm going to ask you to come and make the presentation for me again, sir.
So Basilia, apart from the sea breeze that he'll enjoy, he has also walked away with $20,000
$20,000 cash.
Clarendon people, make some noise.
Costa Speaking, just have a seat for me, sir.
Yes, sir. And we have to big up our Governor General. Make some noise for His Excellency. Because he has advised us that we need to go again and give away more things. All right, so ambassadors Anwin Davis and Kelly, good. And this time we are getting prize from Chaka Cove. That's Chaka Cove. All right, I go in. I have not yet seen a green card. All right, be quiet for this. The numbers are 205136. 205136. Make some, another Clarendon person. Make some noise. Make your way to the stage. I have to check your numbers first. And I'm also inviting Mrs. Mushet from Chaka. Please to come for me, miss. 205136. We have a match. Make some noise for Chaka Cove. gift courtesy of Choco Cole, and you get to go tickets for 2. Enjoy yourself for a weekend.
Hold on, but I hear we have something else to give away.
Make some noise if you want something to give away again. All who love free gifts, a free gift. This time we have another free gift from guess who? From Choco Cove. Ms. Mushek, I'm sorry, you're going to have to stay. You're our co-host right now. And as usual, we do what? Shake up the box. And in 5, shake, 4, 3, 2, steady. I go in. I have not yet seen a green. Random selection, that's how it goes. All right, the numbers are 20510. 20510, and I see someone running up. Make some noise. 205102. Boy. Thank you very much, sir. Let me check 205102. Thanks, you are a winner. Please make your way courtesy of Choco Code presented by Miss Mushette from Choco. Basilia, over to you.
All right, thank you so very much. Yes. Put your hands together for yourselves, everybody. For those who won, congratulations. All right, for those who won, please come backstage. We need to have a talk with you and make sure that you have your gifts ready. So those of you who won, please come backstage. Ladies and gentlemen, all good things must come to an end. And I want to thank you for being here this afternoon. We're not finished yet, so don't move. Not finished yet. Almost there. We're going into our concert segment of today's conference. And so right at this time, I'm going to make welcome to the stage with our entertainment gospel singer Alex Smith. Put your hands together for Alex Smith. And today he's been backed by the Herbert Morrison High School Band, who will also rock the house with a medley of Jamaican renditions, ranging from gospel to rock steady to reggae. Put your hands together and help me make welcome Alex Smith.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Christ has for us a home prepared way on the blue skies. It must be so wondrously fair, never seen by mortal eyes. Soon we know he's coming again from his heavenly throne. We must live this earthly domain when he comes to claim his own. You better hurry up. Hurry up, get ready to go. If you want to ride on the glory train, you better hurry up, get ready to go. Christ has for us a home prepared, weighing on the blue skies. It must be so wondrously fair, never seen by mortal eyes. Soon we know he's coming again from his heavenly throne. We must live this earthly domain when he comes to claim his own. You better hurry up, get ready to go. If you want to ride on the glory train with the Savior and his chosen crowd, you better hurry up, get ready to go. You better hurry up, 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 hurry up. Give me Jesus in the morning, give me Jesus in the evening, every minute of the day. Give me Jesus, he's my reason for living, he's my source of survival. Every minute of the day, give me Jesus. Give me Jesus in the morning, give me Jesus in the evening, every minute of the day. Give me Jesus, he's my reason for living, he's my source of survival. Every minute of the day, give me Jesus. I am a warrior, a Christian warrior, with my weapon in my right hand. I am a warrior, a Christian warrior, with my weapon in my right hand. A Christian warrior, with my weapon in my right hand. I am a warrior, a Christian warrior, with me weapon in my right hand. Warrior, hey, warrior, warrior, hey, warrior, I will not suffer. No. I will not beg for bread. The Lord is my provider. I will not beg for bread. Imami daddy oh, Imami daddy oh, Imami daddy oh, Jesus Imami daddy oh. I will not suffer. I will not beg for bread. The Lord is my provider. I will not beg for bread. Imami daddy oh, Imami daddy oh, Imami daddy oh, Imami daddy oh. I will not suffer. I will not beg no bread, no bread, no. God is my provider. I will not beg no bread, no bread, no. Mama, daddy, do I know? Mama, daddy, oh. Mama, daddy, oh. Jesus, me daddy.